police of ours to carry on some health awareness in our communities, in our society, because based on our own experience,
Welcome to Blaze News Point. 45 minutes of the most balanced and compelling news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our global village. Today is Friday, August 15, 2025. My name is Menso Mendy. On top of this presentation, stories topping the headlines: Governor of Liberia joins dignitaries at the Peace Corps Liberia swearing ceremony, marking the formal induction of a new cohort of Peace Corps volunteers, as President Joseph Boakai commends the U.S. government for its continued support to Liberia. National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority launches Fisheries Information Management System, a move aimed at modernizing the management, monitoring, and regulation of Liberia fisheries sector. Chief Executive Officer of Bogon Jide Group of Company Elton Jones accuses former House Speaker Funanti Kofa of owing his company 12,000 United States dollars as Kofa legal team threatens legal action if Jones does not provide evidence to his allegation. And away from Liberia, Washington, D.C. has sued the federal government over its takeover of the police force after U.S. Attorney General Pam Bodie named the head of the Drug Enforcement Administration. The news bulletin, the foreign development, the voices of those making the news, and the personal last are all packaged onto this presentation. But first is Arunan Kobogi and the news bulletin. Good evening, Arunan.
Good evening, Mandy, and good evening, Liberians. Government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Education, joins dignitaries at the Peace Corps Liberia swearing ceremony, making the formal induction of a new cohort of Peace Corps volunteers. The volunteers were served in communities across Liberia, supporting national efforts in education and health. The ceremony, a long-standing Peace Corps tradition, officially marks the transition from trainers to full-fledged volunteers. The Peace Corps first arrived in Liberia in 1962, launching initiatives in education, health, and rural development. Speaking during the swearing-in ceremony at the ministerial complex in Congo Town Friday, President Joseph Boakai commended the Peace Corps for its lasting contribution and expressed appreciation to the U.S. government for its continued support. For her Education Minister, Dr. Jaso Chala thanked the Peace Corps for its enduring service, emphasizing the importance of aligning efforts with the government's arrest agenda, which prioritizes quality, equality, and innovation in education. Meanwhile, Joseph Zadruni, U.S. Embassy chargé des affaires and former Peace Corps voluntary, highlighted the organization's role as a symbol of friendship and mutual respect. The National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority has officially launched the Fisheries Information Management System, a move aimed at modernizing the management, monitoring, and regulations of Liberia fishery sector. The official launching program, which was held in the conference room of NAFA on Friday, August 15, brought together stakeholders in the fishery sectors, government officials, as well as development partners. The program was held under the theme Digitalizing Fisheries Governance, Enhancing Transparency, Efficiencies, and Sustainability. Speaking at the launching ceremony, the acting director general of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, Sarah Sembe, disclosed that when he assumed office, one of the glaring efficiencies he encountered was a slow and a bulky process of leasing permits and thus issuing permits and licenses, noting that the full migration to the Fisheries Information Management System will reduce permit processing time for fish importers from 1 week to just 48 hours. Giving the overview of the Fisheries Integrated Management System, the lead director of the program, Sekila Vani disclosed that the new system is comprehensive digital platform designed to centralize and streamline all aspects of fisheries administration. Fanny further stated that some key features of the system include vessels registry and licenses model, impose transparency, reduce revenue leakage, cash and effort reporting model, something he said is a real-time data collection crucial for accurate stake assessment and management. Delivering the keynote address at the launching ceremony, the Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority, Double Jala, revealed that the launch of the Fisheries Information Management System signals that Liberia is serious about protecting its marine wealth, empowering compliance, and ensuring that the benefit of the fishery sectors are accounted for, reported, and reinvested into the country. The chief executive officer of the Bokon Jida Group of Company, Hector Jones, has accused former House Speaker Councillor Funati Kofa of owing his company the sum of over 12,000 United States dollars. Speaking Friday with this station, Jones claimed that Councillor Kofa, through his chief of office staff, took over 12,000 USD loan from his company, alleging that the former speaker has since refused to live up to his obligation. He threatened to take legal action against Councillor Kofa if the former speaker fails to settle the debt in the coming months, emphasizing that his office needs to pay its workers. Jones revealed that several individuals, including employees of the current government, particularly from the National Port Authority, are also indebted to his company. However, Kofa's International Law Group has asked the Boko Judah Group of Companies CEO to retreat its statement or provide evidence to claim, thus threatening to also take legal action against the CEO of Boko Judah Group of Company if he failed to retreat or provide evidence within 5 days. Meanwhile, a WhatsApp conversation in possession of this station reportedly between former Speaker Kofa and Elton Jones shows that on September 29, 2024, the former speaker acknowledged to repay his arrears. The Supreme Court of Liberia has overturned a lower court verdict in a continuous property case involving the estate of the late William Thomas Bernard and his widow, Danilette Bernard. The High Court ruled that the Sixth Judiciary Circuit Civil Law Court erred in awarding sole ownership of the estate's 12.92-acre property to the widow. At the center of the legal battle was a prime parcel of land jointly acquired during the couple's marriage, which later became the location of the former ruling Congress for Democratic Change headquarters. The property has remained under political and legal spotlight aimed in internal family disputes and legal challenges. The Supreme Court said that the Civil Law Code misapplied the principle of survivorship, wrongly transferring full ownership to Madame Bernard following her husband's death. The justice emphasized that once a marriage is divorced by death, survivorship is extinguished and the property reverts to the estate for probate administration. Meanwhile, the ruling effectively upholds the eviction order previously issued against the CDC headquarters, reaffirming that the land does not solely belong to the widow but is part of the estate subject to legal distribution. Riverview County Senator Jonathan Sigbe has donated a band set and other essential items to the county through the office of the superintendent. Speaking during the donation ceremony in Riverview County Friday, Senator Sigbe reflected on the significance of August 24th for the country's citizens. He said in the past, schools in Riverview County would have to travel to Maryland County to rent a band set, indicating that it is from that backdrop he decided to purchase a band set for the people of Riverview County. The Riverdale County Senator added that the usage of the band set will be determined by the superintendent's office, stressing the importance of the item for the county. Senator Sebe revealed that he has also been in communication with Lone Star, a local telecommunication company, to provide electricity for the country's radio station. However, the company was unable to fulfill the request, thus presenting solar panel for the radio station to enable the people of Riverdale County to interact with journalists and stay informed. Meanwhile, Riverdale County Superintendent Mike Sewimbe expressed his appreciation for Senator Sembe's donation, stating that it is the first time the county has its own band set. Disadvantaged youth from Kampala Ghetto, a popular ghetto in Banga, Bon County, has called on the government of Liberia to shift its focus from crackdown to establishing rehabilitation centers across the country. According to the drugs victims, rehabilitation will address the proliferation of illicit substances. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent Wednesday, they expressed frustration over the constant raiding of their base by the joint security forces, accusing them of posing threat to their lives. They allege that the persistent raid of Kampala has resulted to the death of several disadvantaged youth with many others wounded. The disadvantaged youth argue that raiding and detaining addicts do not address the root causes of drugs trafficking and addiction in Liberia. They urge national government to prioritize rehabilitation as the surest way to remove drugs addicted youths from the street. In a related development, a single mother in Banga, Cecilia Delon, has recommended a death sentence for drugs traffickers in Liberia. Madame Delon, whose children are victims of drugs abuse, has described the proliferation of narcotics in the country as a tiger for the growing addiction among young people, emphasizing the need for government to take decisive action against illicit substances importers. The Ministry of Education, together with national and international partners, has launched a high-level push to scale the Liberian Girls Can Code initiative. Liberian Girls Can Code initiative, a 3-year program that equips 100,000 young women aged 18 to 24 with cutting-edge skills in digital literacy and cybersecurity by 2028. The initiative aims to close Liberia's gender gap in technology and prepare a new generation of female leaders in the digital economy. Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs Daniel Sando underscored the urgency of equipping girls with critical digital skills. He explained that the initiative structured in 3 progressive phases will begin with national assessment and boot camps, scale up through the establishment of regional learning centers and curriculum integration, and culminate in a national tech showcase with long-term sustainability strategy. The program enabled the building on the Continent African Girls Can Code initiative, emphasized that African girls must be creators and leaders in the digital revolution. Partners at the roundtable include ECOWAS, UN Women, Orange Liberia Lone Star MTN, Stella Maris Polytechnic University, University of Liberia, Book Before Boys, the Federation of Liberia Youth, and other civil society and private sectors, all pledging their support to advance gender equality in technology. The student The Student Unification Party of the University of Liberia is calling on citizens of the country to gather on Monday, August 18 for a mass protest. According to the student-based political party, the move is aimed at reminding the Boakakon administration of their commitment to uphold the rule of law and the promises made to citizens during their campaign period. Speaking to the press on Friday, August 15, the chairperson on press and propaganda of the Student Unification Party, Emmanuel Young, disclosed that the August 18 protest is a call to the Liberian government, as a reminder of the promises made to the citizens and the lack of hygiene and deplorable infrastructure on the campuses of the University of Liberia. Yang noted that the protest will also serve as a reminder to the administration of the University of Liberia, adding that the administration has failed to live up to its 100 days delivery promise to the student to renovate campuses of the University of Liberia. He named the university bathroom renovation and classes, among others, as a major challenges affecting students at the state-run university and away from home. Washington, D.C. is urging the federal government over its takeover of the police force after U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi named the head of the Drugs Enforcement Administration as the District Emergency Police Commissioner. The city Attorney General Brent Shambua wrote on X that the U.S. government had illegally declared a takeover of the Metropolitan Police Department and was abusing its temporarily limited authority under the law. The lawsuit asks a judge to void Bondu's order and stop the DEA head from assuming any position of command with MPD. President Donald Trump on Monday declared he would use federal law enforcement to crack down on crimes in Washington, D.C. Place News.
Runan Kopogit with the news bulletin and foreign development is indeed a regular feature on Blaze Newspoint. For news fast, factual, and always up to date, you are just in tune to Blaze Newspoint. 45 minutes of the most accurate balance and compared news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. Today is Friday, August 15, 2025. My name is Menso Mendy presenting this edition of the program. Stories topping the headlines: the governor of Liberia joins dignitaries at the Peace Corps Liberia swearing ceremony, marking the formal induction of a new cohort of Peace Corps volunteers as President Joseph Boakai commends the U.S. government for its continued support to Liberia. National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority launches Fisheries Information Management System, a move aimed at modernizing the management, monitoring, and regulations of Liberia fisheries sector. Chief Executive Officer of Bokon Jide Group of Company Elton Jones accuses former House Speaker Fonati Kofa of owing his company 12,000 United States dollars as Kofa legal team threatens legal action if Jones does not provide evidence to his allegation. In a way from Liberia, Washington, D.C. has sued the federal government over its takeover of the police force after U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi named the head of the Drug Enforcement Administration. The voices of those making the news and the personal last polls are still ahead, but this break to be right back. Welcome back to Bliss News Point. We'll now take our first development. The governor of Liberia, through the Minister of Information, that's Education, John Dignitaries, at the Peace Corps Liberia swearing ceremony, marking the formal induction of a new cohort of Peace Corps volunteers. The volunteers will serve in communities across Liberia, supporting national efforts in education and health. Speaking during the swearing-in ceremony at the ministerial complex in Congo Town Friday, President Joseph Boakai commended the Peace Corps for its lasting contributions and expressed appreciation to the U.S. government for its continued support.
The Embassy County Director, Peace Corps volunteers, want to welcome you and thank you for coming. I'm here for first two reasons. One is that I've always been attached to Peace Corps, and I've always told you it was one of the best programs in the state. I've been on help humanity and I've been very closely associated with Peace Corps. When the Peace Corps had a memorial service in Washington many years ago at the Arlington Cemetery, I happened to have been on the outside of that program. And at that program, I concluded by saying that Bola tired but not tired. Our younger people who also sometimes I'm happy that it's a program that try to break you in so that you get used to what you're coming to. But along the way, when you're traveling, you will not find hamburgers anymore. There's roast cassava and roast plantain. So you get used to that. But interestingly, we are happy that you're here. The Peace Corps program has been a very, very helpful program for Liberia. Maybe also for the United States, because see, a lot of the ambassadors we see from Peace Corps, including the one that just left. And also, even during the early part of our conflict, it was Peace Corps, like Kevin George, and there were a lot of them like Jim and his wife that were the advocates for Liberia. So Peace Corps have been very, very much used in multiple ways because of their attachment to this country. And we are very, very happy to have you here to come and work with us. And as of the embassy.
For part, Education Minister Jaso Jada thanked the Peace Corps for its enduring service, emphasizing the importance of a learning efforts with the government the rest agenda, which prioritizes quality, equity, and innovation in education.
Our incredible Peace Corps Liberia volunteer. Let me start by saying a warm welcome to this event marking the swearing in of our Peace Corps Liberia volunteers. Swearing in is a traditional ceremony that marks the beginning of the commitment of the volunteers' roles and the values upheld by the Peace Corps. And that is to support the agency mission and also to build healthy relations. Today, we will be swearing in two types of volunteers. The traditional Peace Corps volunteers whose service assignments last for 24 months, and the Reform Peace Corps volunteers who are experienced professionals and the service assignment lasts for up to 24 or up to 12 months. It is with great joy that we gather together to witness and to celebrate the swearing-in ceremony of El Ara 12 and Ara who are being to serve in their various communities. Together, let us memorialize this historical event. Our
Meanwhile, Joseph Sarjosin, U.S. Embassy charged the affairs, and former Peace Corps volunteer highlighted the organization's role as a symbol of friendship and mutual respect.
Sense of purpose has stayed with me, reminding me of the profound impact service has on both those who give and those who receive. Since its founding in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy, the Peace Corps has stood as a symbol of friendship, partnership, and commitment to making a difference. For more than 6 decades, it has built bridges of understanding and fostered sustainable development, encouraged cultural exchange, and nurtured mutual respect. Here in Liberia, you join one of the oldest and most impactful Peace Corps programs, entrusted with carrying forward 6 decades of goodwill, honoring the legacy of the more than 4,200 volunteers who have served before you. Among them is our former ambassador, Mark Toner, who served here as a health volunteer in Grand Bassa County in the 1980s. This partnership has been enduring and deeply beneficial to both sides. The Liberian people have welcomed volunteers with warmth, seeing them not only as collaborators, but also as friends. Liberia's rich culture, history, and resilience continue to inspire Peace Corps service, reinforcing the values of cultural exchanges and global solidarity. Liberia's role in the Peace Corps story reflects the core values of service and mutual understanding, and this relationship has helped shape the identities and missions of countless volunteers, all of whom carry memories of Liberia for a lifetime. Openness to collaboration and the ongoing work towards development make it a vital part of the Peace Corps global network. To our new volunteers, your presence here reflects the best of American values. service, compassion, and the dedication to better building understanding. Whether you work in the classrooms, clinics, or community projects, each effort will contribute to Liberia's progress and strengthen the enduring friendship between our two nations. Your service also underscores Peace Corps' global mission, fostering peace, breaking down barriers, and creating opportunities for cooperation. Liberia's openness, resilience, and hospitality make this mission deeply meaningful and remind us that peace and development begin with human interactions. In closing, I urge you to approach your service with humility, patience, and dedication.
Thus, the voice of Joseph St. Jocelyn, U.S. Ambassador charged the affairs and former Peace Corps volunteer, highlighting the organization's role as a symbol of friendship and mutual respect. He also listened to the voice of Education Minister Dr. Jaso Jara, thanking the Peace Corps for its enduring service, emphasizing the importance of a learning effort with the government arrest agenda. He also listened to the voice of President Joseph Boakai, commending the Peace Corps for its lasting contribution and expressed appreciation to the U.S. government for its continued support. They spoke when the governor of Liberia, through the Ministry of Education, joined dignitaries at the Peace Corps Liberia swearing ceremony, marking the formal induction of a new cohort of Peace Corps volunteers. To this development, the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority has officially launched the Fisheries Information Management System, a move aimed at modernizing the management, monitoring, and regulations of Liberia fisheries sector. The official launching program, which was held in the conference room of NAFAD on Friday, August 15, brought together stakeholders in the fisheries sector, government officials, as well as development partners. Speaking at the launching ceremony, the acting director general of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, Sarah Sengwe, disclosed that when he assumed office, one of the glaring inefficiencies he encountered was a slow and bucket process of issuing permits and licenses, noting that a full migration to the Fisheries Information Management System will reduce permit processing time from fish importers, that's for fish importers, from 1 week to just 48 hours.
It is with deep pride and a strong sense of duty that I welcome you to the official launch of the Fisheries Information Management System, also known as the FINS. Today is more than just the launch of a digital tool. It is the unveiling of a new era of transparency, efficiency, and accountability in the governance of Liberia's fisheries sector. The FINS, a cutting-edge digital platform, was developed 2 years ago and designed to modernize the management, monitoring, and regulation of Liberia's fisheries sector. Developed with support from the World Bank through the Liberia Sustainable Management of Fisheries project, the FIMS enables all fisheries-related processes for lessons and permit applications to be handled entirely online. However, due to the lack of institutional prioritization by the previous management, the system was never utilized until now. When I assumed office, one of the glaring inefficiencies I encountered was the slow and cumbersome process of issuing permits and licenses. At the time, it took up to 1 full week or more to issue input permits to fish importers. As part of my ongoing reforms, together with the team, I am pleased to announce that we have reduced the permit processing time for fish importers from 1 week to just 48 hours. It is with deep pride.
Giving the overview of the Fisheries Integrated Management System, the lead director of the program, Sekula Vanin, disclosed that the new system is a comprehensive digital platform designed to centralize and streamline all aspects of fisheries administration. He added that the move would now see the Fisheries Authority move away from updated paper-based processes and embracing a new era of digital efficiency.
Platform designed to centralize and streamline all aspects of fisheries administration. It is a tool that will revolutionize how we manage our water resources. With things, we are moving away from outdated paper, moving around with papers, and we are moving to an online new era of digital transparency and efficiency. So in the themes, Key features we have include a vessel registry and licensing module. This module digitizes the system process of registering fishing vessels and issuing licenses. We also reduce revenue leakages. The system provides a platform for ease of payments of fees and the required revenues to the sector. It provides 3 payment platforms. We have the online payment that has to do with Visa cards, MasterCards, as well as bank transfer. We have the proof of payment where you can pay your money to the bank and then you upload your payment slip and it's verified through our system and also paid. And then we also have the mobile money payment platform that is also incorporated into the system. We have a digital data collection platform that also inputs cash data in real time and provide an analysis on how our stocks are managed as well. We have a database and an analytical engine. The core of the FIMS is to centralize database and store all fisheries-related information. We also developed the electronic document management system for NAFA internal management and documentation for approvals. We also developed the human resource information management system that is right now updating all of NAFA human resource records from paper-based cabinets to online systems. We also developed the data collection platform that is directly integrated with the FIMS, and we also developed a monitoring and evaluation system. So all these systems are there to automate NAFA's operations to a better and more efficient and transparent institution. FIMS is
Delivering the keynote address at the launching ceremony, the Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority, that's Double Jada, revealed that the launch of the Fisheries Information Management System signals that Liberia is serious about protecting its marine wealth, improving compliance, and ensuring that the benefits of the fisheries sector are accounted for, reported, and reinvested into the country.
We have a few recommendations, and we just like to emphasize some of those. To ensure that the Fisheries Information Management System delivers on its promise, we would like to offer the following recommendation. 1. Full interagency integration. This should link the Fisheries Information Management System with the Liberia Revenue Authority, Customs, the Coast Guard, the Ministry of Commerce, and the Port Authority. This is really very pivotal because without this interagency integration, we will not be able to leverage the full potential of this system and other systems that exist in other agencies of government. So this is something we hope to work with the DG as well as with other stakeholders that we just highlighted to make sure that we can accelerate the process of integrating these systems to ensure coherence. And then this will also block people who are bent on bypassing and creating back channels for rent-seeking purposes. 2. Capacity building. We encourage continuous training for NAFA, LRA, and partner agency staff to operate, maintain, and analyze system data. One of the things we're trying to graduate from at LRA is the dependence on external capacity to be able to maintain our internal system. So we've done quite a bit of that, and we are hoping that as we integrate these different systems, we need to be able to rely on internal local resources to be able to maintain, manage, and ensure the continuous operation of these things, as well as build the capacity of the staff of these different stakeholder agencies to manage these different systems. Number 3, stakeholder sensitization. We recommend to educate fishing communities, exporters, and industry operators on how the Fisheries Information Management System benefits them, ensuring compliance is seen as a partnership, not as a burden. So education is really very, very important, and that is something we've embarked on at LRA, and we are recommending that forms an integral part of the rollout of this system. The 4th one is data-driven policy we'd like to recommend. We recommend to use the Fisheries Information Management System analytics for evidence-based decision-making, from setting license fees to adjusting seasonal fishing limits, but then as well as driving other policies, as I mentioned to you earlier, particularly things like tax policies and the like. Number 5, we encourage regional cooperation to share relevant data with regional fisheries bodies to curb transboundary illegal fishing. So collaboration with our neighboring countries is really very important. We have a
That's the voice of the Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority, Double Jada, revealing that the launch of the Fisheries Information Management System singles that Liberia is serious about protecting its marine wealth, improving compliance, and ensuring that the benefits of the fisheries sector are accounted for. He also listened to the voice of the lead director of the program, Sekula Advan, disclosing that the new system is a comprehensive digital platform designed to centralize and streamline all aspects of fisheries administration. He also listened to the voice of the acting director general of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, Sarah Sengwe, that's revealing that the new system will reduce permit processing time for fish importers from 1 week to 48 hours. To this development, the chief executive officer of the Bogon Jide Group of Company, Elton Jones, has accused former House Speaker Councilor Fonati Kofa of owing his company the sum of over 12,000 United States dollars. Speaking Friday with this station, Jones claimed that Councilor Kofa Chu, his chief of staff office, took over 12,000 USD loan from his company, alleging that the former speaker has since refused to live up to his obligation. He threatened to take legal action against Councilor Kofa if the former speaker fails to settle the debt in the coming months, emphasizing that his office needs to pay its workers.
The former speaker, in line with he sent the chief of office staff to acquire a loan of 12,500 United States dollars, and he have deliberately refused because we have text message, WhatsApp text message that we have reached out to him. Even a representative of district number 16, District Sibo, he have also played his own part in making sure that the matter could be resolved. And Helen Ator also from Man TV also, they have tried in making sure that the issue can be resolved. Because look, Boasa, we just hired a few interns in our office, have few interns brought as a result of buttressing the effort of government, because government cannot do everything, government cannot employ everybody. So do you expect that Bogan did after the internship with you guys and to pay the people, then we have people protesting our office or so? No. Why you have one strict and eminent son of this country, former speaker, we should know better, but at the end of the day, he's reneging on it. When we make a couple of contacts with him, he told us that there was an impasse of capital for which we are aware of, but then the impasse subsided long, and we said that the former speaker respecting it's not political issue, but we are just concerned that how can we get our money back? 12,500 United States that was taken since July 4th of last year. So this July, every means that we have tried, some of the colleagues have tried to intervene and to see how better the former speaker can live up. He's a lawyer, so he should know better. The former speaker, in line with he said.
That's the voice of the chief executive officer of the Boko Njida Group of Company, Elton Jones, accusing former House Speaker Councilor Fonati Kofa of owing his company the sum of over 12,000 United States dollars. The Student Unification Party of the University of Liberia is calling on citizens of the country to gather on Monday, August 18 for a mass protest. According to the student-based political party, the move is aimed at reminding the Waka Konde administration of their commitment to uphold the rule of law and the promises made to citizens during their campaign period. Speaking to the press on Friday, August 15, the chairperson on press and propaganda of the Student Unification Party, Emmanuel Yan, disclosed that the August 18 protest is a call to the Liberian government as a reminder of their promises made to the citizens in the lack of hygienic and deplorable infrastructure on the campuses of the University of Liberia.
Of the awareness to remind the government of Joseph Boyka and co-actors in Radio Kun that the Student Unification Party days will be around to organize the people in this country for mass assembly. Government of Joseph Boyka continue to disabuse constitutional rights of the people. We have come again to remind Joseph Boyka that been parading around the corridor of preaching reconciliation. But this is the man executive of the state attending the function of the retirement of the Chief Justice of the country. Today, this old man that is noted for keeping grudge and making false power as a lady, basically 16 years old girl, choose again to destine himself away. This is the man that is passing around the corridor, talking about he wants Liberia to be reconciled, talking about reconciliation and unity, but he cannot honor a traditional obligation in adherence to the separation of power and the balance of democracy. Asking on Mr. Boyka today from the program is a breach and a violation of the traditional protocol established between the legislature, judiciary, and the executive. Let me say this to Mr. Boyka. The judiciary branch of government in this country doesn't work on your feelings. If you think that because Chief Justice Siane Yo brought the regime, exposed the administrative malpractices and indecency of you as an individual to adhere to the constitutional mandate of the country. That is the constitution of the state. Because of that, you and one Kun decided to boycott today's ceremony and you think you have scored maybe a political grade joking. But these are not the reasons we are here. We have come here to remind the administration of Lelius Mapaya that they over 100 days delivered what was promised to the University of Liberia, taking into consideration the renovation of bathroom and to basically the follower of the press. A couple of days ago, you saw leaflets on the social media that the Speaker of Rachel Kun have agreed to renovate the bathroom on the University campus. Let us say this: we commend the leadership of Jacqueline Barnard, Tigma Ellison. We denounce Mr. Rachel Kun for his reckless dealings of parading with information that is only intended to score political grace. The renovation of the bathroom on the University campus is a process that was initiated by the president of the University of Liberia. And for a Rachel Kun to come and print a billboard very big, then the over 2 bathroom or over 2 commodes that is donated to the University of Liberia is an affront.
The billboard bigger than the project.
That's the voice of Emmanuel Yang, the chairperson of the press and propaganda of the Student Unification Party, disclosing that the August 18 protest occurred to the Liberian government as a reminder of their promises made to the citizens and the lack of unhygienic and deplorable infrastructure on the campuses of the University of Liberia. Drug abuse has been one of the major challenges faced in Liberia since the height of the civil wars decades ago. As government prepares to combat illicit substances, disadvantaged youths in Banga called on the Boycott administration to shift its focus from crackdown to establishment of rehabilitation centers. As they explain, our Bon County correspondent, Wednesday Clark report.
Kampala, a notorious ghetto here in Bangabon County, is home to hundreds of disadvantaged youths. Many are being abandoned by their families, while others say they are being cut off from their parents and relatives abroad due to drug addiction. This ghetto, just 2 modest kitchens, is active like a small commercial city beside Banga. Here, life is governed by its own rules, and those who break them face swift, harsh punishment. Motorbikes arrive and leave regularly, carrying people who come to use drugs and then disappear again. At the single entry point, a law immigration officer checks arrivals and alerts security when necessary. Some of the young people here say they are tired of abusing drugs and they want help.
We are begging the government that it bring the rehabilitation in the county, that some all be free from drugs. Because in life, we are making a small and disgrace, shame, and but some of them feel shame because we're already inside. So we're begging the government that it come with an idea and with a step, and we'll join it. We don't mean a shame. We're helping it to get in that organization to make a better future tomorrow for ourselves.
Prince Kamara has been using drugs for years. He says constant police raids on ghettos like Kampala is threatening their lives and undermine any chance of recovery.
The fight drugs, it doesn't mean that you should put police behind us, running behind us, holding us, carrying us to prison, making us to do the one. You can't stop it like that. Cause real harm to us, even left at risk because you're running in bush, you don't know where you're going. You're running, you don't even know where you're going. You mistakenly, you may hear yourself. Some people then that thing that we're smoking is substance that is high. Running too much can make your pressure go up. You go off. Even they don't want to harm yourself, but when they hold you, that something bad will happen to you.
For Prince, a substance abuse began with peer pressure. A friend introduced him to marijuana more than 5 years ago. and soon he found himself living here, unable to break free. Stephen Benson, 28, looks much older than his age. His skin is blemished, his lips blackened, his complexion faded. Stephen says addiction has isolated him from society.
The level we're in now, really, we are in shame, we are in disgrace. People will call, bro, we will look at money, we call them poor. I take respect. How about when they black and we lose good friends here. When some of our friends see us, they will far away from us because they tell us we're different from them. Some people can be afraid of us because the condition we're in. Someone is like, trust us because the condition we're in, the level we're in. And by right, not how it will be.
Health conditions inside Kampala are worsening. Many years suffer from infected sores and other complications from prolonged drug use. Some parents have given up on their addicted children after repeated failed attempts at rehabilitation, but not Madam Cecilia DeLong of Frank Joe community in Banga. The single mother has 2 sons battling addiction and she refuses to walk away.
2010, Nacha got serious in my hand. He got on his feet and began to talk to him. But the other one that was teaching, the 2021, I noticed that he joined his brother. He was teaching and he just started getting sick. Not knowing he started taking it. In the house with me, they and myself in the house because I allowed them to go out. When they go out, look for them and bring them.
She is called.
Many thanks to our Bon County correspondent Ramsey Clark for that report. Well, listeners, on this notice how we come to an end of this week edition of Place News Point. Let's go the recap of the major stories. Governor of Liberia Jones dignitaries at the Peace Corps Liberia swearing ceremony, marking the formal induction of a new cohort of Peace Corps volunteers as President Joseph Boakai commends the U.S. government for its continued support to Liberia. National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority launches Fisheries Information Management System, a main aim at modernizing the management, monitoring, and regulations of Liberia fisheries sector. Chief Executive Officer of Bokon Judah Group of Company, Elton Jones, accuses former House Speaker Fonanti Kofa of owing his company $12,000 as Kofa legal team threatens legal action if Jones does not provide evidence to his allegation. And away from Liberia, Washington, D.C. has sued the federal government over its takeover of the police force after U.S. Attorney General Ban Daspan Bondi named the head of the Drug Enforcement Administration. We say many thanks to our news director, reporter, editor, and correspondent for making this edition of Blaze News Point a success. Arunan Kobogi brought to the news bulletin and the foreign development. Clifton Rennie Sada Control and coordinated the television and radio production of today's presentation. On behalf of the News and Current Affairs Department of Blaze Communication Network Incorporated, my name is Mensu Mendy Apizina. Good evening and have a pleasant night.